and welcome to CPH DOX 2013. My name is Tine, and I'm the director of the festival, and I founded it together with a small group of people 11 years ago. And I'm going to take you on a very small, fast-forward guided tour through this year's program to give you small insights into what is specific to this year's program, but also to try to give you a sense of what is the core DNA of the festival.
Copenhagen DOX is, in my opinion, one of the most innovative documentary festivals happening in the world at this moment.
To me, I think it's above all a big inspiration.
It's one of the biggest festivals in Europe, and in that sense a great venue to reach a big audience.
The reason I think Copenhagen DOX is this amazing is if you look at all the documentary festivals around the world, the diversity and the size of Copenhagen, even though it's such a small city and such a small country, the diversity of it is so big and it shows so much.
So I'm going to try and say a few things about the film program. The film program is every year structured in 4 main international competition programs, and the main program, the official competition, is called the DOX Award program. We try to look for films that are somehow pushing the boundaries of what we normally consider being a documentary film. The DOX Award is really where we are looking for what is happening at the margins of the documentary film genre right now.
The reunion is about a class reunion. Everybody comes together to celebrate the reunion many years after they left school, except one person who wasn't invited, which was Odell, the director. So as a kind of revenge, or maybe just as a kind of I want to get my say in this, she has directed a reconstruction of the reunion as it would have been if she had been invited. Odell's The Reunion is a film that will take everyone back to their own school days, with all the hurt and all the regret and all the things you wonder, could I have done anything differently? This is a film that will make you look into the mirror and ask questions like that.
Jag har lite olika minnen om vår fina gemenskap. Jag kan inte minnas att du en enda gång under tiden i skolan på något sätt bekräftade min existens.
One of our other competition programs is called the New Vision Award. We believe that there's a very strong relationship between that of contemporary art and documentary film. So the selection of films in the New Vision program is specifically films that come out from an art film tradition.
A Spell Toward of the Darkness is special to us for many reasons. It's a film by 2 of the best and the brightest young minds in international filmmaking, Ben Rivers and Ben Russell. They've both been present at the festival before with the previous films. This time they made a film together. Well, the question what the film is about is perhaps a bit tricky. It's about a transformation of a single character from a sort of collective consciousness to solitude and to sort of like a final stage, actually to a stage at a black metal club in Norway. Ben Rivers and Ben Russell, all the artistic differences aside, share a certain belief in cinema as a medium of transformation, which is also what this film is not only about, but also sort of the effect that it creates on the spectator. And it's a film that definitely should be seen in the cinema as loud as possible.
We also have a competition program called Nordic DOX. It's a focus on the new talents in the Nordic countries. Right now there's such a huge talent mass in the Nordic countries, and there's also a very specific way of working with the genre, and we really wanted to support that and to also be strong ambassadors for that scene.
My film Pine Ridge is about young people who live in a Native American reservation in South Dakota. It's a filmic or cinematic portrait of this area. It's about growing up, it's about the emotions that the characters has, and every theme in the film is something that I myself in some kind of way can relate to, and it's when it comes down to, you know, human emotion. When you work with reality, what is interesting for me is trying to, you know, capture the details of the reality and the characters and the environment and the place, and kind of emerge all this into a film into a documentary film?
My film, Days of Hope, is a journey from Mauritania to Sicily to Denmark, following West African migrants and their struggle to find a better life, to move on from one place to the other. It's also about the system that's a big obstacle, and it's about the pressure they receive from back home. So Days of Hope is a story of many different destinies that are interwoven. We meet them in 3 different places very far from one another. They all throw light on different aspects of the same journey of searching and hoping for a better life. Something important that this film does is to show the human face behind the statistics, behind the stories.
Il ne peut pas mourir sans rien faire à ma maman, non. Et maintenant, elle-même, elle n'a rien. Moi aussi, je n'ai rien.
Now we meet the people and we see the human face, we feel their feelings and get to understand their thoughts and their reasons for moving and for risking their lives.
Dreaming of a Family is about a father who's willing to do everything to put his family back on track. It's also a film that invites us into the social system of Denmark. The main character, he joins a group of fathers, a kind of therapy group where the fathers wants to become better parents. Overall, it's a film about social heritage and about love and responsibility and endurance. I hope that the film makes you think about the importance of knowing where you come from, and also how to become a good parent and how to deal with your past.
We have a new competition program this year called Fact Award, and it's done in collaboration with the Union of Danish Journalists to have a specific focus on the films that somehow are being made in the intersection between investigative journalism and creative documentary.
And one of the major films in the lineup is Dirty Wars by Richard Rowley, which follows an American journalist called Jeremy Scahill on his attempt to sort of map out sort of the US war against international terrorism and the sort of undercover operations that they've been performing throughout the past decade or so. It is a film that combines investigative journalism, meticulous research, and the sort of cinematic qualities of the feature-length film, which of course is completely different than the sort of journalistic attempts at discovering truth that we know from television, for instance. And I think it's an important film. I think it's a film that will really work in the context of the cinema, which I think is important for a film festival. And I think it's a film that will create a lot of debate, which is also vital to a film festival such as ours.
وام لگید شهید شد 3 تا سیاسرم لگید یکش خانم ما بود یک شمشیری بود یکش بیادرزاده این بود دختر تایه.
Since the very early beginning, we've been working very closely with the other music festivals, with the music venues in Copenhagen, and this year we have again a very strong lineup of our concert program called Audiovisuals.
What makes Audiovisuals unique is our mix of music and visual art or film. Typically, we try to pair up musicians or bands with visual artists to create something completely unique. 2 concerts that I think deserve special attention this year would of course be our headlining act, Jenny Wilson versus Daniel Wirtberg. The 2 Swedes will create something completely unique in Östra Gasverk. They created a short film together last year, which we will show before the concert. Another concert that I think deserves some attention is a female folk artist called Linda Perhax. She hasn't created anything in 40 years. Her debut album was from 1970 and is a psych folk masterpiece. She will guest Jazz House with visuals. 2 sound and vision films that deserve special attention this year would be Broken Song is the first one. It's about Northern Irish young street thugs who find their way out of the gloomy life they have in a suburban North Ireland city by finding love in the art of rapping.
Run your tap, say what you want and get the message through, but you can count on one thing, I won't be missing you.
Another film that I think deserves special attention would be the film called Silk. It's about this very hot LA record label called 100% Silk. This one is a very unique take on the art of touring. You see them on the road in Europe, but it's cut in between very psychedelic dance arty sequences and a very cool all-knowing narrator who's almost very Jan Lit-ish. You get the feeling that he's inside the heads of all the band members.
So this was a small tour through this year's program. We look forward to seeing you in November from the 7th to the 17th. And in the meantime, I hope your curiosity will take you through the corners of the program, and we look forward to seeing you.